All right, Albert. For the folks who have, been around for this segment, we're changing it up a little bit. Usually we do it at the end of the show as, covering the guy, on the guy that we're covering for that show. But we're going to switch it up a little bit, turn it into remix it to a new segment. So Sell Me This Pen Now is going to be a player that we're struggling with, a prospect that we need help on. And it's going to kind of be up to, hopefully the other host kind of be able to make the sell for him as a prospect. So, Albert, I need you to sell me the pen on JT Toppin.
Oh, God. Okay. Wow. I'm so excited for this segment for us because the guy that I have too, Corey, I have no idea how you're going to sell me on him. So,
all right.
Okay. I'll give it to you as simply as I possibly can with JT Toppin, because I do wonder, because Corey, was it you or was it Rucker? But somebody was like, I talked to an NBA exec, and what they said to me was, if you can't explain a guy in a sentence or less, then I don't want him. It was something like that.
I think it was Ignacio.
Ignacio. Okay. Yeah. So my sell me this pen for JT Toppin will be very simple, Corey. Okay. JT Toppin is a wildly productive college basketball player who has translatable skills to the NBA as a strong role player. And that is enough to take him. This is too many words. That makes him worthy of a top 60 pick, is how I want to view this. With JT Toppin, I think that's as simple as it gets, Corey, because well, maybe Corey, if you can divulge and share with us some of your concerns, because I'm not super high on Toppin either, but I do feel like the production is something that we talk a lot about, Corey, where it's like, if somebody is that productive in college, how do we ignore that? And also, how do we quantify that too? Because that doesn't always mean that they're going to be successful on the next level, but it should mean and count for something. And so if you can share with us, Corey, a little bit of your concerns.
Yeah, well, I think that's why quantitative analysis should go hand in hand with qualitative analysis, right? Like you need to watch and see what you're watching, and then you need to look at the numbers, because his numbers are overwhelming. He's averaging over 30 points a game. It's only been a couple of games in the season, but he's like a monster rebounder. He's always getting buckets. And you just go, well, how could you ignore somebody who's dominating guys? There's a reason that, he got the reported NIL number that he got, because he's just so impactful as a college player. My concerns lie in that, what does it look like, I guess, in a scaled down role, which is maybe not even my concern. But he's not as tall as you want your front court guy to be. He's not really a true center, but his game resembles that of a true center. He's not an outlandish, defensive prospect who's blocking shots. He doesn't stretch the floor. He's not a knockdown free throw shooter. And he's not a guy who right now you look at and you go, all right, well, maybe he's like Domantas Sabonis because he can really play make. And, as he's getting downhill and facing up, and he's going to be able to spray the ball out, and maybe he develops that, and that's where the ultimate starter upside lie. But my struggle is that I don't know how to deal with the fact that he's so productive. And when he's an awesome NBA player, we all just go, well, of course he's an awesome NBA player. Of course, look at what he did in college. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as my struggles, where it's well, should we take him in the top 20? Or is he do you get him in the, beginning of the second round? Or I just don't know where to place him right now. I've seen him in person. I don't know. I'm struggling.
You might hate this one, Corey, because I've used this one before, but this one, it's not a 1-for-1 comp thing. Career trajectory wise, he might just be Kurt Thomas, where he has a very long NBA career and being productive in his role, but never a star, never even your third or fourth best player, just a guy who gives you solid minutes, banging the boards, being a good team defender. I mean, okay. What is JT Toppin's best skill if you had to pick one?
I guess like interior scoring, like as a play finisher.
Yeah, mine was even more simple, Corey. I think my favorite skill of his is like that he catches the ball well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I
he
was
does.
maybe catching oops.
Yeah. So I get it, Corey. Like, I totally understand your concerns. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that, I mean, he may not even be like a career starter, right? Just a guy like
Well,
a
it
career
could be Brandon
backup.
Clark.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too. But there, and also, Corey, I don't know if this plays into your evaluation with him. There is an aesthetic thing with him that is weird too. Like, he's very like gangly. Like, he doesn't look super coordinated when he
Yeah, it's like a
moves.
little stiff.
Yeah, it's a little stiff, but also a little clunky. So it's like, like I don't really enjoy watching this. But then when I look at the box score, it's like 25, 12, and 3. So it's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sold this pen to you, Corey, but I think my main point with him is like, if you get a guy who can give you solid 18 minutes a night, who's going to rebound the hell out of the ball and finish everything around the rim, it's not the worst guy to take. Like in the second round is kind of where my head is at.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely not less confused. He's going to be a guy. Just
Yeah.
I need to focus on wrapping my head around as to am I overthinking this, or are my constructive criticisms legitimate? That's what I'm going to need to struggle with.
Okay. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of conversation about this player on the internet. He's got big fans in like the analytics community. I, till this point, refuse to be a fan. I refuse to entertain the fact that he's even a top 60 prospect. I have him like 80 something on my board right now because I don't want to ignore what I've seen in person. For 2 years at UCLA, I would go to the games. I'd be there early, Corey. When I go to UCLA games, I'm there 2 hours early. I'm there when no one's barely in the gym. I'm watching the play. I'm there before the players. Like, I see the players walk in street clothes. I see them walking across the court into the locker room. I see it all. Okay. And this one guy, Aday Mara, I hope I'm saying his name right. I've seen him in warmups, Corey, just struggle to catch the ball, missing wide open hooks left and right, getting bodied by grad school assistants, working on half court hook shots, not work. And here's something that we've heard before too, Corey. It's important to practice real game things. It's important to practice things that you'll be doing in game, in the NBA, blah, blah, blah. There were so many things about him that I saw in person over 2 years that I hated. However, he's now in year 3. He's in a new context now. He's in Michigan.
Yes.
He's had a pretty decent start to the season, right? And I understand that he's got fans across the country because he's a giant who does have some skill.
He's so big.
He's so big, can pass the ball. It's difficult to shoot over him just because he's like a light pole. It's hard. I get it. But for me, I need you to sell me on Aday Mara because I am really struggling with him even now. And maybe it's a stubbornness on my end too, from what I've seen, but I'm having a hard time.
I completely get it. I saw a lot of the same things, in the warmups, when I saw him last year. And I remember going through some Bartorovic stuff, looking at stats in the offseason. And I put it in the No Ceilings group chat. I said, the stat people are going to have Aday Mara top 10 coming into the year. Because if you look at the production that he was putting up in those limited minutes, it was, from an advanced stat perspective, it was like outrageous. And he finished the season to where it was like, this is not real. Like, these numbers from it, like his BPM was like 18 over his last 10 games or something, right? His block percentage is ridiculous because he's 7'3" and he looks every bit of it. He can pass the ball. So, he's got good assist percentage. And I was like, but I've seen it over the last 2 years too. And this was a guy who had top 5 projections when he was a freshman because he had really shown some stuff overseas before he came over to play college. I am not nearly as out as you. I think that I would give him, because he's getting an opportunity here. It seems like he's going to be getting at least 20 minutes per game, like where he'll be on the court this year. And in that, he'll have production. And I remember when I saw him last year with Nathan, I went, I don't care what kind of numbers he puts up. He's so big with like the pedigree of the requisite skill that if he went out last year, he would have got drafted in my mind. Now, I think that, and I haven't done like any kind of formula or anything concrete. I think there is an over index on big men within the stat community because, you know, and it's hard because I think when you're a pure 5 and you're a one position player, like he's not playing as the 4 in a dual big lineup. He doesn't move that way, right? It limits like just how often you can be on the court. Right? Like there are only a certain amount of starting spots or only a certain amount of backup spots. And those backup spots are maybe going to guys who are a little more, you know, versatile or, you know, whatever. Like, so there's less opportunity. There's less spots that you can actually grab as a player. Now, granted, he's so big, he's going to keep getting chances. You know, we saw Rocco Zakarsky get drafted, you know, taken by the Wolves last year. And I think he's a way better prospect than Rocco Zakarsky was. I'm interested. I think he's seeing the opportunity he's getting, and it's a weird front court because you have Merez Johnson, you have Yaxel Lendeborg, and none of these guys fit super seamlessly. But I, you know, like May is a really good coach, and he puts these guys in really interesting positions to play to their strengths and do like have some creative freedom. I think he is right now. I'm being very patient with him. I'm away from the top 10 stuff that a lot of the stat community has him. I do have him as a first round guy right now. And ultimately just because I see that he's playing. But there, I think, are real reservations because, you know, you can maybe look at him and be like, oh, Zach Edey has been better than people thought. Donovan Clingan has been incredible. But I think both of those guys move better defensively. Like, I think they're more fluid in my eyes. And, like, that was a knock on Edey by a lot of people, which I think was lazy. You know, I think it was just like, oh, lumbering guy, like this isn't going to work in the NBA. But I think like those concerns are kind of legit with Mara. So he's a very wait and see. I don't feel the need to go all in. Like, you know, even if he's drafted, Young Hansen, another guy last year drafted very high. Like there's definitely a value to these kinds of players who like are intriguing passers with good feel, who can protect the rim. So even if Mara ends up in the NBA being a 15 to 20 minute per game guy who plays a heavy drop, protects the rim due to his just outlandish size, is able to keep the offense humming and hopefully finishes really efficiently at the rim, then that's a guy who's going to bring value. It's just how much value can he bring based on how many minutes can he play? And a lot of that to me is going to be questions on like how effective he is strategically in that drop where it's like, oh, you're just way bigger than these guys in college, so they're struggling. Or are you playing that cat and mouse game the right way? And that's going to translate to the NBA level as well, is kind of where my concerns lie with him. But to sell you this pen on Aday Mara, 7'3" human being, incredibly rare archetype, incredible shot blocker due to his size, going to intimidate guys at the rim, big man with great passing feel, who has some skill as a scorer within 5 feet of the basket.
No, I get it. And I do want to mention, like, we both talked about the passing thing. Like, man, he can he could do like live dribble stuff even sometimes, and like both hands. I'm just like,
and he could see over everybody because you know his head's in the clouds.
That helps. Good for him.
I'd imagine.
I feel better, Corey. Also, I think it's important to note Elliot Cadeau is the best guard he's ever played with on the college level, and Cadeau's putting him in good positions to get easy buckets and stuff like that. So, okay, I'm more open to the idea. I think you just pushed him into the 70s for me.
Okay,
is where we're at.
Then I did my job a little bit.